90 World Series.
Coming up on This Week in Baseball, the Cardinals dish up some lip-smacking victories. Late-inning drama of style and flavor, exciting Major League heroics to savor. And new ballpark treats.
Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, grilled steak sandwiches, anything you want.
Coming up, you all, on This Week in Baseball. This week, drama, last inning heroics. 9 games decided and the home team's last at bat. Going, it is gone. Milwaukee's Robin Yount, a 10th inning homer. Steve Decker, Giants, 9th inning, 2 outs. The rookie comes through. A home run. From San Francisco to St. Louis.
Coming in to score is Langford on the out at second base, and the Cardinals win it.
Smashing finish for rookie Ray Langford. Next stop, Pittsburgh, 11th inning, Andre Dawson.
There's a long drive. I don't think anybody can get this one. And it is out of here. Dawson hits another grand slam. His second in the series. And the Cubs have put this game away. Holy cow.
Wrong, Harry. The Pirates bounced back, turning tricks for a big 6. An 11th inning rally spearheaded by Barry Bonds.
Line drive, base hit. And now it's a 12 to 11 game. There's a tying run to the score. Way back, that might be the ball game. It is. The game is over. The Pirates, in unbelievable fashion, have won another ball game.
Well, shiver me timbers, from Pirates to Mariners. 9th inning, Scott Bradley coming to bat.
Base hit back. Canseco trying to make the play. It's going to be at the line. The Mariners win it. So the Mariners have come from behind with an incredible victory over the Athletics.
The Mariners won 8 straight, tying their club record.
Line into the gap in left center field. Jones reaches out, dives when he makes the catch.
Fastball hit on the ground. Vizquel, tough play. Gets the force at second and gets the double play.
After the worst start in club history, manager Jim Lefebvre's team swept both Minnesota and Oakland. But so far, perhaps the biggest surprise in the majors, the St. Louis Cardinals. Felix Jose led them to 3 straight wins.
There's a drive way back. It might be. And once again, the St. Louis Cardinals have defeated the Chicago Cubs. Holy cow.
The Royals' Kirk Gibson batting against Cleveland's Doug Jones. 9th inning, 2 outs. Kansas City trails by 2. Home run.
Well, Gibson has done it in dramatic fashion here in the 9th inning. It's a 2-2 brand new ball game.
Gibson smashed a homer in his 4th straight game, but it almost went for naught.
Line drive, speared at second base. We'll go to extra innings. Shumpert made the play and saved the ball game.
The Royals won in the 10th, highlighted by Kirk Gibson, who had slammed 6 of the team's 8 homers. The Houston Astros were lucky to break out of a run-scoring drought, just 4 runs in 5 games.
There's a looper, short right. Duncan back, can't get it. The Astros win it. Ken Oberkfell with a bloop single in the bottom of the 13th to drive in the winning run.
The Giants' Kevin Mitchell, red hot, leading the National League in homers with 7. Boston's Roger Clemens, 4-0 with 30 consecutive scoreless innings. And how about New York's Don Mattingly?
Mattingly will put the Yankees out in front. Boy, it's been a long time since Mattingly has connected.
Don's first in 312 at-bats. Well, looky here. Warner Fussell on the ticket.
Thanks, Mel. Manager Tom Kelly's Minnesota Twins are off to a disappointing start. And on Thursday night, top of the 10th, Steve Bedrosian's wild pitch scored Edgar Martinez to give the Seattle Mariners a 3-2 lead. But in the bottom of the 10th, the Twins caught a break when Seattle didn't. Mike Jackson on the mound.
Down low, that gets away from Bellier. Here comes Debbie. Jackson goes to pick it up. Here comes Newman.
In Los Angeles, a case of lost and found for Darryl Strawberry. He found a young man who got lost on the field.
Well, it's 9:40 p.m. Do you know where your kid is? Well, it's Hollywood. Everyone wants to be. Oh, look at him. Look at him. He knows.
Friday night in Kansas City, Kevin Seitzer broke his hand on a pitch from Boston's Greg Harris. The Royals won the game but lost Seitzer for 4 to 6 weeks. For Warren Cromartie, Friday night held a much nicer memory after 7 years in Japan.
Warren Cromartie slaps it through the hole on the right side base hit. Turnbull is being waved in. First RBI in the major leagues for Warren Cromartie since 1983.
Number 13, Ozzie Guillen trying to jinx New York. The bad luck backfired. Joey Cora leads off first base with a score tied in the 10th inning.
Runners going. His first move, and what a job. The strike and the throw. Got it. Oh, boy. No, put it right on the bag. Wow. And they cut down Cora trying to steal.
Matt Noakes with a perfect throw. Then in the top of the 11th, Noakes drove home the winning run. The night was quite good for Noakes, who didn't even start. Now let's throw it back to Mel Allen.
It's quiz time, brought to you by today's Chevy truck. You know, fans, the other day, Cincinnati's Rob Dibble struck out 6 straight Astros to end the ball game. But do you know who holds the all-time game record for consecutive strikeouts? It is brought to you by today's Chevy truck. The pitcher who holds the record for consecutive strikeouts is Tom Seaver. 1970, 10 straight. 19 that day for Tom Terrific. Chicago, New Comiskey Park, 9th inning. Sox 4, Tigers 4.
There's a shot. Base hit back to the middle. Fletcher scores. Sox winning 5-4 for the first win ever here at New Comiskey Park. Yes!
Chicago won 3 straight after 16-0 opening day loss. The Western Division frontrunners are feeling mighty good at home in their brand new ballpark. And now for a closer look at Comiskey, let's pitch it to the field for a pair of pitchers.
John Paul, Wayne Edwards here with you, Chicago White Sox, checking out the new ballpark. Thoroughly impressed with walking through the dugout so far. What do you think, Donnie?
Very, very impressed. Don't call me Donnie.
Don't call
very, very
Don't
impressive.
call me Donnie. Can't be a bad seat in the house. Cannot be a bad seat in the
That's what
house.
I'm told. For the price it costs, it better not be. I'll tell you.
Looking good. Looking good.
Super.
Right now, I don't know if the camera's rolling, but right now we're testing the Diamond Vision, Sony Vision, whatever you want to call it. They still have not got Wayne Edwards' picture on the Diamond Vision. Right now we have Wayne Edwards' name, Ken Patterson's face. Folks, that's the kind of season to start off with. Now we got Corey Snyder.
Face.
I wish I had his batting average, however...
Wish you had his contract.
Wish I had his contract, as a matter of fact.
You don't
want Ken Patterson.
No, you don't want Ken Patterson.
Let's come with us. We're going to check out the new concessions that we have here. Check out the menu. And your thoughts on the food?
Food is really good. We've tried it, and it's excellent.
Excellent. You heard it here first. Hamburgers, cheeseburgers, grilled steak sandwiches, anything you want. You are here.
Last year, remember the guest seats? I think they were like someplace out here. This year, from what I understand, like right here. Not bad seats. I won't be embarrassed to put my friends in the guest seats this year. Last year, I was embarrassed. I couldn't put anybody in the guest seats because they're way out. This year, they're decent seats. We'll use them this year.
And we kind of did get a little tired of having in the family section some of Don Paul's friends, so it's kind of nice. In fact, we actually would have enjoyed seeing some of Don Paul's friends out here in section 164. Not bad seats because there's no poles, mind you. However, family here, Don Paul's guests out here. Beautiful situation, again, I might add. Spark, you know, we're here
Think I can call him Spark? You think that'd go over pretty good? Hey, Sparky. Mr. Anderson, what do you think of this new dugout?
That's beautiful. I tell you, one thing I like about it is that if you're winning, you won't have no trouble going up and down. If you're losing, you get that tight booby, you know what happens. You might have a little problem, but no, it's great. It's a beautiful stadium. They don't have to ever be ashamed of this thing. This is going to be a great thing for Chicago, and for 50 years from now, it'll be a great ballpark.
Sparky being cool.
Sparky's all right, yeah.
Well, we've actually got to head in. We've got to get dressed. The last time we played like this, we got fined $100 each, so we can't let that happen again. But folks, come down, see the ballpark. We want to see you. We want you to see us. So come on down, support the White Sox. And this is Wayne Edwards and Don. Don't call me Donnie Paul. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Talent there in comedy. Next, let's shift gears for a contest of speed. Auto racing happens to be the second favorite pastime of Boston Red Sox slugger Mike Greenwell.
Building a race car and having interest outside of baseball, get your mind away from the game, and that way when you're playing baseball, you can concentrate on it 100%, give it everything you got, and then when you're done, you can get away from it. I think that's very important.
Well, Mike, tell me, when did motor racing become such a cherished hobby?
Right before I was 18, we built a race car, me and my brother and my father-in-law, we built a race car, and we raced it in Naples, Florida, on my 18th birthday. And I raced it up until the time I signed with the Red Sox, and then I had to give it up.
But now the Greenwell brothers have some high-octane aspirations.
They built a new track down near my house, and me and my brother had talked about maybe building another car and letting someone else drive it and getting involved in it again. And so we did it, and we put a car together and spent about a month and a half putting the car together. And we've won a few races, come in third. We've also come in 11th, 12th, and 13th. So hopefully someday, it's always been my dream, is to have a car racing the Daytona 500.
Now, for a former player who's already embarked on a new career. Joe Sambito owned a blazing fastball and was one of baseball's top relievers before an elbow injury sidetracked his career in 1982. He retired in 1987, and just like Reggie Jackson, Jim Palmer, and many, many others, Sambito found a second career in baseball. Not as a coach or a broadcaster, not even manager. Joe Sambito is one of the few former players to become a player's agent.
I think an agent can be a friend. I think an agent is somebody you have to trust, and someone you can rely on, someone you can go to who knows the business and understands where you're coming from.
Joe Sambito works for Hendrick Sports Management in Houston, Texas, which represents top players like Roger Clemens.
He started out working with our young minor league players and interacting somewhat with young prospects, but he's worked his way up that he negotiates now for some of our young major league players, does our minor league contracts. I just think he adds to our team, and we're very pleased with what he's done.
There's certainly people that are smarter than I am and maybe more qualified, but when it comes to dealing with players as far as baseball, I think that I can just identify with them a little bit better.
Joe really understands the problems, that we go through and the pressures and things that we're under as far as in the big leagues and things. And he can really relate to some of the problems that we have. And as an agent, he offers not only advice contractually with our contracts, but also on the field. When we have problems, we can always call Joe and he can give us some help.
I wouldn't even think about, being with anybody else. Especially Joe, he's not only, an agent, he's one of my friends.
A 10%er given 110%. Power Stick presents Power at the Plate. Cal Daniels spearheaded the Dodgers' first two home victories this season with powerful performances. In back-to-back games, Cal drove in 10 runs.
High drive, deep left. Deion Sanders back toward the track, back near the wall, gone. A first pitch grand slam by Cal Daniels has blown this one wide open.
Get set for This Week in Baseball's top 5 defensive plays.
And there is a shot to Reed. Great play by Jody Reed. Alomar victimized by his opposite number, Jody Reed.
Drive to right center field, another base. Oh, wait a minute. He caught it. I thought it was going to drop. And there is Kevin Bassett, a brilliant play. And the Padres are robbed of a base hit.
Scotty, look at the play. Oh, boy. What a play by Scotty Fletcher to retire Lou Whitaker.
It's looped down right field way and maybe trouble. Beautiful sliding catch out there by Carter. What a play by Carter. That's the play of the year so far.
And here's our number one.
Oh, there's a bunch, and it looks beautiful. Aguilera takes him out. And the Twins win it 4-3. That is a big save when you've got to make a play like that to end the ball game.
Final out, special delivery. Now, folks, a very special delivery from a play-by-play man who happens to do some top-notch impersonations, John Miller.
We in broadcasting have our own baseball icons, the greats that we look up to as part of the history of our business, the Red Barbers, the Mel Allens, and in my case, Vin Scully. And I'll never forget Vinny telling me one time, he gave me a great piece of advice. He said, John, when you broadcast a ball game, and it's interesting to note you'll broadcast so many, always be yourself. One of my all-time favorite broadcasters is Harry Carey, because Harry is like a fan who was given a chance to sit behind the broadcast booth. And like so many fans, when a guy who's making the big money pops up with the bases loaded for the home team, he's angry, right? I mean, Harry says, here's the pitch. Popped him up. Can you believe it? Andre Dawson, $3 million a year, and he pops up. Holy cow. You know Harry Callis. Long drive into deep left center field, and that ball is out of here. Home run, Michael Jack Schmidt. I often wondered, you know, it's an incredible voice, but does he talk like that all the time? I mean, if there's a Harry Jr. at home, does he talk to Harry Jr. like that, you know? Harry Jr., you get into that kitchen, you pick up that garbage can and get it out of here. There was one other thing. Oh, just a second. What? Well, hi, everybody. Vin Scully for just one more moment, if you don't mind. I've always said that John Miller is the best baseball broadcaster in America in his price range. Thanks. Mel, back to you. I know you probably have some twib notes or something now, and we'll see you next time on This Week in Baseball.
Just returned the hat. That was on loan. Speaking of twib notes, let's check them out. In Philadelphia, as rumored, skipper Nick Leyva gives way to new manager Jim Fregosi.
Two things that I will try to instill in this ball club are, one is discipline, and the other one is being positive as far as what we think we can do on the field.
Hey, look at the spelling. Ain't that a riot? Now, the next time Andy Allison came to bat, A-OK. I guess he was going through a rough spell. Time now for our This Week in Baseball 15th Anniversary Flashback, presented by USA Today Baseball Weekly. Pick it up at newsstands everywhere. Fenway Park. Roger Clemens overpowers the Mariners.
0-2. 0-3. 17. Strike three. 18. Tied the record. 19 for Roger Clemens. And here they come up at Fenway. Set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
In that same game, Rocket also struck out 8 straight, tying an American League record. It happened 5 years ago, this week in baseball history. next week, highlights from around the majors, plus our plays of the month. And now it's time to wrap things up. Hope you tune in for our next edition of This Week in Baseball. Goodbye, everybody.
Promotional consideration.